Hey guys, welcome to our Civil War OP play, organized play game review. So that's what we did on Sunday.
Yep.
This past Sunday, we played our first Civil War game, and we did it at our favorite local game store, which is Jack's on Queen in Elmville. We're gonna give you guys their Facebook page and stuff in our description, and yeah, they are great, super friendly, super great atmosphere, lots of great people. Go check out Jack's on Queen if you are in the Elmville area. So, we played Civil War.
Civil War Month 1.
Yep. And the way we did it was a Battle Royale snake draft format.
Yeah, so it's a little different. So we sat in groups of 4. We had to actually choose whether we were going to go pro-registration or anti-registration. And then we only got certain characters that fit the faction that we were part of. So you'll notice that a couple of these guys, like Jackolantern here, he's got himself a red base. And he's pro-registration. Now, if you take him out, you're going to see Wiccan. Now, it looks black, but it's actually a very dark navy blue. And he's an anti-registration. So what happens is at the beginning of the game, you choose what faction you're part of. You have to have 2 and 2 of the 4, basically, so it's fair. And then you open your box.
Yeah, you got to choose before you open your box.
You choose before you go in. Once you open it up, there will be 2 anti, 2 pro, and then there's a neutral piece. So you'll take the 2 of whatever faction you chose, plus the neutral, hand the remaining 2 across the table to your opponent, who then hands you the 2 that he didn't use, and he keeps his neutral and his of the opposite faction. So it's cool because it's not like your typical scenario where you would grab like a 2 booster boxes and build a 300-point team. This one, it's kind of like, well, you're kind of stuck with what you get, and
You use everybody.
You use everybody, and it's a battle royale thing. So everybody, all 4 people, all in at once. Everybody gunning for last man standing, and then at the end, it comes down to who had the most points to determine who actually wins for prizing.
There was also this cool, the bounty card thing.
Yeah,
cool.
They had bounty cards, which Jax did a special prize. If you claimed your bounty, then you got an extra little figure that they would give you. So that was really cool.
Yeah, from the Civil War movie booster.
I really like this format. It's a lot of fun. I've always liked battle royales. The idea of counting the points that you do have to be aggressive.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the next one. But for now, we're going to go through a couple of things that we got from the game. Ordinarily, what you'd do is you'd buy your 2 boxes, build your team, and then you'd leave with your boxes. And if you won at the end of the whole tournament, you might get a prize out of it. In this scenario, what happens is you get your 2 boxes, you take the pieces you play with, and at the end of it, all 4 of you put your pieces back into the center, and there's a snake draft. So there's the prize, which is for every round, plus all the pieces. Mm-hmm. So in the first game, I actually won. So I chose the prize piece, which was this limited edition Captain America.
Which is a really cool sculpt.
It is, right? There's actually another one that's the Iron Man, and he's positioned similarly to the way they have him on this box. Mm-hmm. And so they fit right together, and then there's the shield, and there's Iron Man shooting, and it's kind of neat. It's a great piece. It's got 3 stop clicks, and under the new wording, it also has toughness and something else. So with the new wording, you can't outwit it. It is what it is. It's really quite cool. Very playable piece. 80 points. He starts out with Indomitable, Invulnerability, Precision Strike, Charge, Leadership, and at 80 points, you could use Proteus on him if you wanted to from the Uncanny X-Men set. So I'm looking forward to doing that in the future. So that was the prize. Very happy with that.
So, well, I'll talk about my prize for my game. So I actually placed second at my table there. So obviously the limited edition prize got taken by the first guy. So I actually got to take Wiccan. And Wiccan's awesome. And I actually pulled him in the draft. He was the first character I picked. Not just because he's a super rare, but because he seemed pretty awesome, and he ended up being really awesome. So Wiccan he's got teleporting the Young Avengers, so Wiccan can use the carry ability. When he does, he may carry up to 5 characters if they all have the Young Avengers keyword. So that's awesome, he can carry 5 guys. Mm-hmm. How cool is that? He's got phasing teleport right off the bat. He's also got Mystical Tutelage, so Wiccan can use the Mystic's team ability. So that, I believe, is when he gets hit, he deals 1 unavoidable damage to whoever hit him.
Feedback damage.
Feedback damage. So that's cool power to have. Next, he had Energy Shield Deflection on his first click. And this is the best, and this is the power that helped me do as well as I did. I ended up scoring 440 points, which is probably the best I've ever done in a HeroClix tournament.
Well done.
The power is called Any Spell You Need. So Wiccan can use Outwit, Perplex, Probability Control, and Support. And he has that for 2 clicks.
So he's got basically all the support powers. So
every single one.
In a set that seems to be somewhat lacking in support, or there's far more attackers than there are support pieces. I mean, he's definitely the star of the game, I would think.
Yeah, so him combined with Punisher, who was the second guy I picked. So we'll take him out there and we'll put Punisher in here. It's actually cool sculpt. He's kind of firing his Uzi up like that. Punisher was a monster. He has this awesome ability. So it's locked and loaded. At the beginning of the game, place 3 ammo tokens on this card. When Punisher KOs an opposing character, place an ammo token on this card. So basically, when he kills a character, you get to replenish this ammo. So the ammo can do a couple of different things. You can empty the clip. So when Punisher targets 1 or more characters with a ranged attack, he can remove 1 or more ammo tokens. If you do, when making the attack roll, it can't be re-rolled, and you roll an extra d6 for each removed token. Then choose 2 dice for the attack roll. So it's almost like probability control, eh?
Yeah,
like you just
way.
you roll another dice, you pick your 2 highest dice, and I mean you basically hit every time. Awesome. But I liked his white box power even better. So it's Deadly Barrage. Give Punisher a power action and remove an ammo token to make a range attack. Then make another range attack. The first attack doesn't activate the damage depletion modifier.
So what we're talking about here, it looks like we've got a guy with 11 attack to begin with. With ammo tokens at the beginning of the game, he can make 2 attacks. He's not going to have damage depletion. So essentially, because he's got a printed 3, he's going to have 2 attacks, essentially, 3 damage each, and the likelihood of missing them is very poor.
Very poor.
So,
especially when you use Wiccan's powers.
Of course, yeah, he's got probability control.
And so you outwit your enemy's defenses. You perplex up his damage, and you prob control if you do a bad roll. And I KO'd guys in 1 hit twice.
Not bad.
And the first thing, so I KO'd him by removing the ammo counter, and I replenished that right away on Punisher there. I killed so many guys. I got probably my entire 440 points just with Punisher.
Just with Punisher.
He was amazing.
Well, he's got 2 targets, and he's got 6 range. So far, aside from Iron Man, I don't think I've seen any other characters. The range is 6. Everyone else is 5 or lower. So that's, he stands...
So I would recommend when you're playing Civil War, if you're playing anti-registration, pick Punisher. He's brutal. He's an awesome piece.
Yeah.
So those were my 2 kind of star pieces. The rest of them, I played Namorita, Vision, and Falcon in the first game. I didn't get to take a Falcon home because of the snake draft. He was a character that I liked. There's Vision right there,
Vision.
actually.
I love the Vision sculpt, by the way.
It's a cool sculpt. He didn't really do much for me. He was kind of... I kind of used him to tie up a couple of pieces. He does go to a click where he gets both super senses and...
Shape change.
So that was really useful. I got to roll out of being attacked constantly. So that was good there, but once he kind of gets hit past there, he's kind of a goner. Namorita, again, wasn't that great. Falcon was cool. He has this dive bombing ability where he can break away automatically and charge at an opposing character, obviously. And he swoops down, and you can choose to do knockback damage. So what I was doing was I was breaking away, aiming it so I would knock back a guy into the wall, and I'd dive bomb him. And I was actually doing some pretty good, crazy damage there, like with Falcon. Not quite as good as the Punisher, but he was a pretty good piece.
Pretty good. I played Vision in the second game. Vision again wasn't really the star of the show for me. I saw that he he had some interesting aspects to him. He has a white box defense power where he can choose super senses and +1 to his defense, or he can choose super strength and invulnerability. But without charge or any other form of movement attack, like super strength didn't really do me a lot. He already had range. It's not like I wanted to throw an object. So it was kind of, it wasn't something I was willing to commit to go with super strength and invulnerability unless I was to use him to tie him up. Mm-hmm. But I did play him, and he's a great sculpt, and he's a lot of fun. He's 80 points. Of all the pieces, there are ones that are definitely worse. I wouldn't say avoid him, but I wouldn't pick him first.
Yeah, he wouldn't be first pick material, but he is, he's better than a few of the other pieces like Microbe.
I played in the second one.
Did you? How'd you do with Microbe?
Well, let's talk about Microbe for a bit.
Yeah, let's put him there.
So Microbe has traded Outwit, and when he outwits a character, they take -1 to their defense. So that, all by itself, is very, very good. Unfortunately, Microbe has Willpower, and this is something I've seen with a couple of the support pieces, that with Willpower, he doesn't have an attack, so it's almost like Willpower is wasted on a support piece, because things like Outwit are free power anyway. So, so really, once he gets hit, that's it for him. You get guys like Punisher, for instance. If he's doing 6 damage, he's dead. He has no damage reducer. There's nothing you can do, and he's 70 points. So, playing Microbe, you really got to protect him, or otherwise you're giving up 70 points really quickly. Another piece I actually used, this is my star of the show, was Jackolantern. Jackolantern has Running Shot, Energy Explosion, 2 targets, and 5 range with 3 printed damage. He was really, honestly, he was the best piece I had on my team first round, and the reason for that is I just envisioned him kind of circling around a battlefield and seeing a couple of guys like wrestling or entangled with one another and just kind of dropping a bomb on them and taking them both out, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. I would take out so many pieces just because 2 other people would be battling. They couldn't really do anything about it, and I would just swoop in, drop the grenade, energy explosion, and the 2 characters would be done. I'd score the points for both, and I didn't really do that much work to get it. So he's good for that. His defense is soft, though. It's only 16. He's got toughness, so he's not hard to hit if somebody does target him. So what I chose to do is, because he's got flight, is I actually carried another character with me. I set the character down kind of like as a meat shield, and then I let some people do some things, and then I came back around to do what I did with him. But he was the star of the show for game 1 for me. He's the one that won me Captain America. So
cool.
Yeah. Couple other notable pieces. What they've done this year with this OP, or this organized play, is they've brought back all the old Thunderbolts from the Civil War storyline. So Songbird, Radioactive Man, Bullseye. They even brought back Atlas. And I'm a huge Thunderbolts fan, so I was really excited about this. So I took Songbird in the Snake Draft. Had to do it. She looks great. She's got this like translucent sound wing look to her. And she's probably one of the only characters that has telekinesis. So that was helpful. She also has barrier. She did take a hit early on in the game, at which point she had Pulse Wave, and then at that point I just figured she was a sacrifice explosive. So I ran her in, ran Pulse Wave, and then I let everybody waste their turn trying to kill her. But she wasn't bad.
Radioactive Man was... He was interesting. I used him in my second game, and he probably should have been better for me than he was. I unfortunately got boxed into a corner by all 3 other players, and since they all had bounty cards against guys on my team, I was being, really kind of strong-armed. But it was really interesting because we had 2 radioactive men beside each other and lots of characters all around. So he's got this nuclear level radiation thing. So at the beginning of your turn, if Radioactive Man is adjacent to an opposing character, choose one. Deal 2 damage to each adjacent character, or deal 1 damage to all other characters within 3 squares. Now, there were a few characters that weren't really taking any damage, like Miss Marvel. She wasn't taking damage with invulnerability. Same with Luke Cage. There was one more, I can't remember who it was, but everyone else was taking constant damage. So my Radioactive Man would go off. I'd do all 3 squares. And then the other guy's Radioactive Man would go off, do all 3 squares. So there's some massive damage piling up. But, he died pretty quickly. And aside from that and his poison... And he's got Sidestep, though, so Sidestep's kind of cool.
Radioactive Man is actually a really interesting character. If you were constructing a force, you'd simply just play him with the guys with toughness or invulnerability, and then you could run him against SpiderMan or against Microbe, for instance, because Microbe doesn't have anything but willpower. And then every turn, you don't even have to roll the dice to do damage. You just got to be near him, and that's all there is to it. He does have printed 18 defense, which is pretty good. 10 attack, which is standard. It's not too bad. He's 70 points. So when you think about it, 70 points for a poison machine, I mean, he's the same amount of points as Microbe. So, and the sculpt looks great. He looks just like he does in the comic books. I'm excited that they remade this one because I haven't made one in so long, and he's actually the only one I'm missing from my Thunderbolts team. So,
and I think I just my dice were not helping me out that game, so that's probably why I didn't do too well with him. But
well, dice is the great equalizer. Yes. It is one of those things. I'm a big fan of anything that can take that out of the equation.
That's right.
Other than that, we did the snake draft, so there's a lot of pieces that we pulled that we didn't necessarily play, so we won't talk about all of them. But there are some really notable fun pieces that are out there. There was a Venom that I saw that was really cool. There's 2 different Spider-Mans. There's the Iron Spider, or the one that gets the Iron Man armor. There's the regular Spider-Man, both of which are fairly good characters.
You got both of them, actually.
I do. I actually ended up pulling them both from the snake draft.
I'm a little jealous because Spider-Man is my favorite character.
Well, maybe we'll make a deal.
Ooh, we might have to.
But this Spider-Man's 80 points. He's got 11 attack. He's got charge and flurry, energy shield deflection. He's a solid character. He's even got Spider-Man team ability, which in a lot of cases isn't going to do you much good in organized play. At least not this one, but in other cases it would be pretty good. So I like that character.
If you're doing some casual play, it'd be fun.
Yeah, he's definitely a playable character later on. He has an ability where if he charges someone, he does damage. He can actually sidestep breakaway for free. So it's almost like mini hypersonic speed, so that's kind of cool, among some other things. The other Spider-Man, this is the Iron Spider one. So we're looking at that Spider-Man. He's got Spider-Man team ability as well. He's got another 11 attack with Incapacitate, 18 printed damage. He's got 3 targets. Now, he doesn't have any range. Well, he does have 4 range. My mistake. So at 4 range, Incapacitate, 3 targets, and 11 attack. If nothing else, I mean, he may not have running shot, but you get him in position, you target 3 different guys, they all have action tokens, and because there's not that much Indomitable, and the willpower is limited kind of like support pieces, he can be very disruptive. So I'm
18 defense and 3 damage. That's nothing to laugh at.
No, I mean his printed stats are really good. 11 attack, 18 defense. He's and the sculpt looks cool.
Yeah,
I was happy about that. Other than that, that's round 1. Yeah, that's round 1.
So we'll do another video on our next Civil War round.
Yeah, and we'll come back with little mini videos, a little closer look at some of the pieces that we didn't showcase today.
Right.
And we'll just see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, and you can catch us playing HeroClix at Jackson Queen in Elmville.
Yeah, come on out.
Subscribe.